New footage has the internet on edge after Big X the Plug circle got rocked once again. This time, it didn't start at a club. It followed him all the way to the funeral of his best friend. Zed, rumors started flying about OPPS possibly pulling up, and in Dallas, that only ever means one thing: trouble. The city immediately went on alert. Timelines started buzzing, and everybody wanted to know what was real and what wasn't. Here's what actually happened, what's confirmed, and why Dallas is watching the situation closely. The story really starts on New Year's Eve in Dallas, a night that was supposed to be nothing but celebration. Pink House Dallas was throwing its grand opening, and the vibes inside were immaculate. Bottles were popping, the DJ was going crazy, and BigXThaPlug was posted up with his crew, enjoying the moment. Zed the Wizard was right there with them, fresh off a performance and ready to bring in 2026 the right way. Nobody in that building knew the night was about to take a dark turn. Zed had just finished his set, throwing money on the crowd like any real one does at a function like that. The energy was high, people were smiling, and everything felt normal. Then, just a few hours later, everything went left in the worst way possible. Around 3:45 a.m. on January 1st, 2026, gunshots rang out in the parking lot during the grand opening. What was supposed to be a lit night instantly turned into pure chaos. When the smoke cleared, 4 people were down. One of them was Zed the Wizard, a 25-year-old rising rapper from Dallas who had been shot in the head. BigXThaPlug was still in the building when it happened, turning up with his squad just moments before things went sideways. The two had been together all night, with Zed performing earlier and showing love to crowd. One moment it was celebration, the next it was sirens and panic. Then the footage hit the internet, and it went dummy viral almost instantly. In the clip, you can hear BigXThaPlug in complete shock as he finds out his homie was the one who got hit. His voice sounded frozen, like his brain couldn't even process the words coming out of someone else's mouth. He reportedly said something along the lines of, "They shot Zed in the head? What the F?" The pain in his voice was raw and impossible to fake. Security was trying to move him out of the area, but you could tell he was stuck in that moment. The clip spread fast on X, Instagram, and TikTok, with the algorithm pushing it straight to everyone's feed. Within days, the footage passed 100,000 views across reposts and reaction videos. The comments filled up with prayers, condolences, and straight disbelief from people watching an artist find out in real time that his close friend had been shot. The aftermath only made things worse. Zed the Wizard was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and placed on life support, fighting for his life. But online, the cap spread faster than the truth. Blogs jumped the gun. Fans started posting RIP messages, and some outlets even declared him dead before anything was confirmed. All that confusion only made the footage spread more, as people kept sharing it trying to figure out whether Zed had survived or not. The internet went wild as people tried to process the chaos. Some were calling out blogs for posting fake news just to get clicks, while others were holding out hope and praying for a miracle. Everyone was refreshing feeds nonstop, waiting for official updates. That confirmation finally came on January 5th, 2026, when Zed the Wizard passed away from his injuries. After days on life support, his family kept visitors limited to protect their peace during the hardest moments of their lives. The hip-hop community took this loss hard, fans, peers, and city legends all feeling the weight. The details around the shooting are still murky. Dallas police haven't made any arrests yet, and eyewitness accounts paint a confusing picture. Word on the street says some beef started inside the club and spilled into the parking lot. Reports suggest the whole thing kicked off when Zed was throwing money during his performance, accidentally hitting some people who took it as disrespect. Others are unsure if the shooting was targeted at Big X or just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Video breakdowns from analysts show the tension escalating near the bathroom, where Zed's crew allegedly confronted the other group. Club security intervened and kicked them out, but the situation didn't die down. Instead, the chaos spilled into the parking lot. Some analyses even suggest the shooting may have involved friendly fire from Zed's own crew, with one clip allegedly showing a shooter dumping shots blindly while fleeing. This hasn't been confirmed by police, so it's speculation, but the reality is still brutal. What isn't speculation is that Zed the Wizard is gone at just 25 years old. Big X the Plug lost one of his closest day ones in seconds. The footage of Big X's reaction captured a level of pain you can't fake, genuine, raw, and unfiltered. People flooded the comments with prayers. some reflecting on the dangers of New Year's Eve outings and the reality of life in the streets. Many shared personal stories of barely escaping gunfire or violence during the holiday, highlighting just how volatile nights like this can be. Pink House Dallas, the club hosting the grand opening, caught serious heat after the shooting. Reports said security was lacking, pat-downs weren't thorough, and that's how weapons got inside. To make matters worse, hours later the club's Instagram was posting about their money made that night, which many saw as straight disrespect considering a life was just lost. The incident sparked broader conversation about the dangers of clubs during New Year's Eve. Dallas police alone got 759 calls about celebratory gunfire that day. To understand why this footage hit so hard, you have to know who Zed the Wizard was. This wasn't just another name in a headline. He was a rising star in the Dallas rap scene, a young bull on the come-up whose life was cut short just as things were starting to click. Zaire Corey Cannon Grant Fields, professionally known as Zed the Wizard, was 25, from Oak Cliff in Dotto, Texas. His story was one of overcoming obstacles, grinding through adversity, and switching lanes when life threw him curveballs. And now, his absence has left a void that will be felt across the city and the culture. Zed the Wizard was raised mainly by his mom, Lean Non Grant, someone he called his third heartbeat. That bond shaped the man he became, humble, respectful, and genuinely loyal to those around him. Growing up, Zed had another love, football. He brought the same energy and intensity to the field that he would later bring to the booth. But life had other plans. A serious injury cut his athletic dreams short, forcing him to find another path. And instead of letting it hold him down, he poured all that competitive fire into music. By 2023, Zed picked up the MIC and never looked back, adopting the name Zed the Wizard as a reflection of his ability to navigate life's obstacles with skill and creativity. Former coaches and teachers described him as smart, driven, and determined to lift his family out of the cycles that had affected his early life. Once he locked into music, his catalog grew fast. His debut project, Wiz Who Is Zed, dropped in 2024, giving fans a taste of his introspective style and authentic perspective. That same year, he linked up with Young Dawn for Wizard Dawn, proving he could collaborate and elevate others around him. April 2025 brought the release of Words of Wisdom, an album that showed growth and maturity, with tracks resonating with listeners for their depth and substance. Hits like Boston and Gay amassed over 125,000 Spotify streams, while Anti-Cap Music pulled around 40,000, and Chevy became a local anthem. With roughly 25,000 monthly Spotify listeners, his sound fit perfectly in southern trap and street rap lanes. Zed's music spoke on chasing money, personal growth, loyalty, and navigating the streets, all delivered with a flow blending rawness with melody. His rise suggested stardom was just around the corner. In August 2025, he signed with Future's free band Gang label, a major co-sign that put him in position for national recognition. Industry heavyweights like Meek Mill vouched for him, praising his grind and authenticity. Dallas observers also took note, naming him one of the top 25 DFW rappers of 2025. Everything pointed toward 2026 being his breakout year, but fate had other plans, and instead, he was laid to rest far too soon. Zed's connection to BigXThaPlug went deeper than industry networking. Both were key members of the New Dallas movement, a collective committed to unifying the DFW hip-hop scene and countering the violence claiming young artists' lives. Big X didn't just show distant support. He brought Zed on tour, shared stages, and consistently co-signed him publicly. Their bond was described as a big homie looking out for a young bull with massive potential. In Dallas, a Big X co-sign meant everything. He elevated artists and gave them credibility. Outside of music, Zed the Wizard was a father and a community figure. He left behind 2 kids, and his impact extended beyond hits, touching the lives of people in his neighborhood. He was someone who embodied the hustle, the grind, and the heart of Dallas, and his losses felt not just in the music scene, but in the city as a whole. His story, potential, and the tragedy of his passing make it clear why this moment hit so hard for fans, peers, and the hip-hop community alike. In his final days, just before the shooting that would tragically take his life, Zed the Wizard organized a toy drive for kids in his neighborhood. People close to him said that was just who he was, a genuine soul with what they called a heart of gold. Tributes poured in immediately after his passing, confirming what everyone who knew him already understood. Artists like G Herbo, who had recently shot a collab video with Zed, called him a real one. Day ones like Head Huncho Amir and Zillionaire Doe shared throwback pics, personal memories, and old videos on social media, promising to keep his name ringing. Timothy Chung, another collaborator, added his voice to the tributes, highlighting just how respected Zed was in his circle. A candlelight vigil took place on January 11, 2026, at Inspiring Body of Christ Church in Dallas. Around 100 people attended, all wearing blue to honor Zed's memory. His mother, Lean Non Grant, spoke openly about her grief, connecting with a crowd that had gathered to celebrate her son's life. A pastor addressed the anger, confusion, and pain that comes with losing someone to gun violence. The crowd chanted, "This life matters," as police presence reminded everyone that the investigation into his death was still ongoing. Despite rumors about OPPS showing up at the funeral, no footage or report confirmed any rivals attending. The vigil remained peaceful, fully focused on mourning a young king taken far too soon. The tragedy spotlighted a reality that haunts the Dallas hip-hop scene. It didn't start as beef. This was a celebration gone wrong, sparked by what might have been a simple misunderstanding at the club. Thrown dollars, perceived disrespect, and an escalation nobody could reverse. Zed the Wizard, a young father, son, and rising artist, would never step in the booth again. While his death doesn't appear tied to any direct beef involving BigXThaPlug, it underscores the constant tension that comes with being near someone climbing hard in the game. Big X has navigated his own drama and rivalries throughout his rise, making speculation about OPPS almost automatic whenever anything goes down around him. BigXThaPlug, born Xavier Landom on May 12, 1998 in Dallas, Texas, has built one of hip-hop's most impressive success stories over the last decade. From aspiring football player to chart-topping rapper, his journey has been marked by setbacks, reinvention, and an authenticity that connects with fans craving realness. His breakout tracks showcase street credibility without any cap. Hits like Texas going 2x platinum, and Mitchum reaching 3x platinum, and the largest becoming another monster record. He has collaborated with everyone from Post Malone and Offset to country stars like Luke Combs and Bailey Zimmerman, with tracks like All the Way hitting top rap charts. By 2025, major outlets were calling him Texas's hottest rapper, a testament to his consistent grind. But winning in hip-hop also comes with challenges. BigXThaPlug's rise hasn't been free from hate or conflict. His main beef stemmed from the competitive, sometimes grimy world of Southern rap, street politics, miscommunications in the industry, and rivalries that naturally follow a rising name. Understanding these dynamics explains why his name comes up anytime violence touches his circle. Much of this tension traces back to the Fort Worth streets where both he and other local artists came up. The DFW Metroplex is a complex web of neighborhoods, crews, and competing interests that feed into the high-stakes environment these rappers navigate daily. In 2023, BigXThaPlug launched his independent label, 600 ENT, signing artists like Roma and Young Hood, solidifying his influence in Dallas. Meanwhile, rival crews like Lil CJ Casino's Casino World, with deep roots in Fort Worth, added layers of competitive landscape. These dynamics, rivalries, street politics, label wars, create an environment where success and danger coexist. And with the loss of Zed the Wizard, the stakes and reminders of mortality in the Dallas scene became even more painfully real. Both crews were running in overlapping territory, so friction was bound to spark sooner or later. Back in early 2024, Lil CJ Casino claimed he got robbed. Jewelry, designer gear, cash, and other valuables were snatched from his whip while at DGB's studio in Houston. Among the stolen items was a hard drive allegedly holding unreleased tracks, including some of BigXThaPlug's early music from when he was coming up. When Big X's team moved fast to recover it, Lil CJ got suspicious, thinking the whole lick might have been a setup. That tension spilled into Boss Up, a diss track directly calling out BigXThaPlug and referencing the studio incident, putting Lil CJ in the spotlight as someone willing to stir drama for attention. BigXThaPlug responded on IG Live, defending himself in the studio. He gave a shout-out to the studio owner, flexed his touring grind and bag, and told Lil CJ to stop dwelling on old issues and focus on leveling up. Lil CJ explained the situation in an interview, saying his manager was robbed and some other stuff went down, but they squashed it. By mid-2025, things had cooled off. Lil CJ confirmed the issue came from thefts and back-and-forth chatter, but they had resolved it, realizing the drama was generating more noise than actual smoke. Fast forward to January 2026, and the drama shifted toward the business side of music. Finesse 2 Times, a Memphis rapper with a growing fan base, called out BigXThaPlug, claiming he wouldn't clear a collab they recorded together. According to Finesse, his label, Mob Ties Records, said Big X personally blocked the release. Big X handled it like a pro. He picked up the phone and talked to Finesse directly, telling him the track was fire and would have been cleared immediately if anyone had just asked. This shifted the blame back to Finesse's label. Finesse publicly apologized, admitting he jumped the gun without knowing all the facts, acknowledging his label might have been playing games. But the story didn't end there. Days later, Finesse reversed course, calling BigXThaPlug a liar and cranking the beef back up. He even challenged Big X to a $500,000 boxing match to settle things in the ring. The irony didn't escape anyone, given that BigXThaPlug and Finesse 2 Times had already linked up in 2020 on a 4-track record literally called OPPS. Whether this latest conflict is real smoke or just a calculated publicity play remains up in the air. The Big Yavo situation. This beef is all about the phrase the largest and who gets to claim it as their signature. Big Yavo, an Alabama rapper, dropped an album called The Largest in November 2022, making the phrase his thing. When BigXThaPlug released a single also titled The Largest in August 2024, Yavo felt like his style got jacked. He went on No Jumper and other platforms to air his grievances, claiming Big X ran off with his ideas after seeking inspiration from him. Big X denied it in interviews, calling the critics random rappers just hating on his success. He said he'd handle it if pushed, but still showed respect for Yavo based on their previous collabs. This beef shows just how territorial hip-hop can get over catchphrases, echoing past disputes over ad-libs and signature lines. Even though Yavo's album dropped nearly 2 years before Big X's single, the debate over ownership of a phrase is still ongoing. None of this drama has anything to do with Zed the Wizard's death. Despite all the speculation that pops up whenever violence touches BigXThaPlug's circle, none of these rivalries have been linked to the shooting that took ZS life. Dallas police are still investigating, and while some sources have mentioned an arrest connected to the case, details remain thin. The internet keeps running with theories, but theories without proof don't mean anything. Some have pointed out that the key is how grown artists handle disputes. They can pick up the phone, FaceTime, and have a conversation instead of letting egos take over. A lot of young people especially, who haven't been through serious situations, let their pride get the best of them. Without understanding, anger and frustration can escalate fast. What's clear is that the Wizard is gone at just 25 years old. His career was on the rise. He left behind his kids, his family, and a community that genuinely loved him. The footage of BigXThaPlug's reaction captured a moment no artist should ever have to go through, showing raw shock, disbelief, and grief in real time. The new Dallas movement keeps pushing forward. The music continues, but another young talent has been lost to the streets. That night's footage will stay burned into the memory of everyone who watched Big X realize his homie just got hit. The investigation continues, the questions remain, and somewhere in Dallas, 2 kids are growing up without their father. The viral clip will likely circulate for years, popping up in reaction videos, news segments, and social media feeds. Every new viewer experiences that same gut punch of seeing a man process in real time that his day one just caught a headshot. The rawness doesn't fade. Fans have even drawn comparisons to other tragic moments in hip-hop history where rising artists were cut down too soon. It's a harsh reminder that behind the headlines and social feeds, these aren't just stories. They're real lives, real families, and real loss. The weight of that night will follow the Dallas scene for a long time, and BigXThaPlug's reaction is now part of hip-hop history, a raw, unfiltered glimpse into the cost of the streets and fragility of life. They could fully blow. The Dallas scene has already seen its share of losses, and Mo3's death in 2020 still echoes through the community. Now Zed the Wizard's name have been added to that tragic list. For BigXThaPlug, the loss adds another layer of weight to the crown he's been building. Success in hip-hop comes with costs that don't always hit until tragedy strikes. He has to keep grinding on his career while processing the loss of someone who was supposed to be right there with him, climbing toward the same heights. The new Dallas movement now faces a real test of strength. Can a collective built on unity and peace continue its mission after losing one of their own to senseless violence? The artists who remain will have to answer that question through their actions in the months and years ahead. Zed the Wizard believed in what they were building, and his memory deserves to see that vision carried forward. The footage that sparked all this attention stands as a stark reminder how far celebration can turn into devastation. One moment, you're in the club with your squad, performing, making it rain, and living the dream you've been chasing. The next, you're in a hospital bed fighting for your life while your homeless shock voice echoes across the internet. That reality hit Dallas hard and the world even harder. The title asks about OPPS at the funeral, but the truth is simpler and more complex at the same time. There was no documented presence of rivals at Zed the Wizard's vigil. The viral footage captures something else entirely, the exact moment a rising star's life changed forever, caught on camera for the world to witness. That clip will outlive speculation, headlines, and social media debates. It will serve as a permanent record of loss in an industry that has seen far too much of it. Long live Zed the Wizard. He is gone, but his music and influence live on. That brings us to the end of this video. Remember to subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments, and help keep this story alive for everyone who wants to honor his legacy.